Nothing sucks more than following a diet and not getting results. I mean, if your weight is just going to stay the same week after week after week, then what's the point of completely overhauling your diet and working out? And what's stopping you from throwing in the towel and giving up altogether? When I regained 50 of the 100 pounds I lost with keto and fasting, that's exactly how I felt. I was ready to give up. After all, I was putting in the work, but nothing was working. And after resigning to a life of oversized t-shirts and stretchy leggings, I had to knock some sense into myself.
Calm down, get a hold of yourself.
Just because keto and fasting backfired, that didn't mean that I couldn't live a healthy life in a body that I love. But after following keto and fasting for more than half a decade, I had to figure out what that even meant. And that's when I began digging for answers, which helped me uncover 10 hidden reasons that I wasn't losing weight. And I'm willing to bet if your scale is stuck, a lot of the same reasons apply to you. The first reason my scale took a turn for the worse is I wasn't tracking what I ate. After reaching my goal weight, tracking slowly fell out of favor. And while I don't believe tracking every last crumb you put into your mouth is necessary forever, if the scale isn't cooperating, then tracking becomes an important habit. But back then, I was still in that keto and fasting mindset, where if I simply cut out carbs and only ate at certain times, then weight loss would be mine. And as much as the keto and fasting gurus want you to believe that's all you need, how much you eat still matters. When I stopped tracking, my calories went up. Want to know what else went up? My scale. And it didn't change direction until I got back into the habit of tracking how much I was eating. But not only did I have to track what I was eating most days, I had to make a better habit of tracking even on days that I didn't want to, like weekends and holidays. Even though I've been tracking what I eat long before the days of macro tracking apps, that doesn't mean that I was any good at it. While it was easy to track Monday through Friday afternoon, once Friday evening hit, my tracking habit went out the window. I thought since I was good all week, not paying close attention on the weekend wasn't that big of a deal. But once I buckled down and really thought this through, I realized that not tracking on weekends meant that I wasn't tracking for an entire 3 days every single week. That's almost half the week. Not only that, but once I solidified the habit of tracking every day, I soon realized just how many more calories I was eating on the weekend. And now that I was doing a better job of tracking daily, I was also more intentional about tracking all of those innocent licks, bites, and nibbles I snacked throughout the week, which turned out not to be so innocent after all. Once I sat down and added up all of the licks of peanut butter here and handfuls of nuts there, I soon realized that I was eating hundreds of extra calories that weren't accounted for. So once the weekend calories plus the licks, bites, and nibbles were all added up, all of a sudden what I thought was a moderate calorie deficit, well, it was actually a surplus. This made the extra weight gain make a little more sense. And while we're on the topic of accounting for everything you put into your mouth, what about those calorie-dense sauces and cooking oils? Because I wasn't doing a great job of tracking those either. But since 1 tablespoon of cooking oil adds upwards of 100 calories to your meal, I'd say it's pretty important to factor that in as well. While your food may not soak up every last drop of oil, these are still calories that you need to count since your body is definitely accounting for them. And the same goes with sauces. We know that sauces make food delicious, but that's mostly because they're packed with sugar and fat, which means even more calories that you should be tracking. Once I got really good at adding up all of the extras, the weight started coming off, albeit at a slow pace. In order to keep my progress coming, I decided to keep digging for answers. And what I uncovered next shocked me. Even though I was doing a better job at tracking everything, I soon learned the diet-friendly foods in my plan were another hidden reason that I wasn't losing weight. And this reason is twofold. The first reason, too many processed foods, which yes, include diet-friendly foods that claim to be healthy or state things like keto-friendly right on the label, is these foods drive hunger. So even when I was sticking to my diet with foods that I thought were healthy, I was still overeating. And that's because highly processed foods don't deliver the nutrients that my body needs, which means it will continue to send out hunger signals. But another reason eating too many processed foods was stalling my progress is that food manufacturers are allowed up to a 20% variance from what's stated on the label. So even if I did a great job at tracking the 200 calories in a protein bar, that doesn't really mean that I was only eating 200 calories. If the company selling the bar took advantage of that 20% label variance, that means I could have been eating up to 240 calories every time I ate one of those bars. And every time I had a 390 calorie meal, well, I could have been really eating up to 468 calories. And while 40 calories here or 78 calories there doesn't seem like that big of a deal, once you start adding up all of the extras, that's definitely enough for a weight loss stall. Plus, I was always so freaking hungry whenever my diet wasn't made up of mostly real foods, which meant I was right back to overeating by the time the weekend hit. And now that we've come full circle, there you have 10 hidden reasons that you're not losing weight. Oh, wait, we only made it through 5 reasons. Wow, those other 5 reasons, those are some doozies. I guess that means you'll have to subscribe and come back next week to learn the other 5 hidden reasons that you're not losing weight. In the meantime, you should check out this video where I talk about the 4 habits you need to quit for weight loss. So that way you can work on quitting those habits, and then you'll have plenty of room for the other 5 hidden reasons we talk about next week.